Morning. Well, thank you for being here today. And at first, I want to call up our Honorable Mayor, Adrian Perkins, to say a few words.
Morning, everybody. Obviously, we're here under some very tragic circumstances. Shreveport firefighter Leonard Coney was a compassionate and loving man who made the ultimate sacrifice serving the city of Shreveport. Leonard Coney contracted COVID-19 while serving on the front lines of this pandemic. And for nearly 14 years as a Shreveport firefighter, he went out and risked his life every single day for this community. And the city of Shreveport will forever be grateful for that. His tragic death illustrates the risk that our firefighters and the frontline healthcare workers are facing every single day. And I ask that you keep firefighter Coney's families in your thoughts and prayers, but not just his family by blood, but also his Shreveport Fire family. He was truly a brother to them, so please keep them in your thoughts and prayers as well. Think about them when you go out. Think about the risks that they face every single day. And think about them when you go out, and please do the right things by wearing a mask. Think about all the EMTs out there, all the doctors out there, all the nurses out there, and the risks that they face every single day and how we can help them, how we can keep them safe. Let's honor Leonard Coney by doing what we can to slow the spread of this very deadly virus in our community. This time I'll pass it back over.
Thank you, Mayor, for those kind words. This time we have a statement from the family. So I'm going to call up Battalion Chief Mike Purser. He is our department liaison with the family, and he has a statement from the family.
Good morning. I'd like to read this statement from Leonard's uncle, Sergeant Daryl Coney, with the Shreveport Police Department. So my heart was broken when I learned the passing of my nephew, Leonard Coney. He was the sweetest dude I knew, a kind, gentle giant with a heart of gold. I raised him as my own, so it is a very difficult and saddened time for me as well as my family. He will be deeply missed. On behalf of my family, I would like to thank Mayor Perkins, the Shreveport Fire Department, the Shreveport Police Department, and everyone who reached out to me and my family for all the love and support you've given us. Again, that was from Leonard's uncle and representative of the family, Sergeant Daryl Coney with the Shreveport Police Department.
Thank you, Chief Mike. This time I'm going to call up our Local 514 President, Captain Barbara Sellers, to say a word on behalf of the International Association of Firefighters of this being a line of duty death.
Good morning. It's a very sad day. On behalf of our 500 plus members, we are sadly going to miss Leonard. There's going to be a void that just will not be filled. You've heard from many of the folks that have spoken before me and have spoken about the kindness and the compassion that Leonard represented. He truly emulated that on every call. Behind me you see Medic 5. That's Leonard's truck. His crews will feel a void that just will not be filled. Whenever a truck returns to be ready for the next response, you'll hear them say, Medic 5 is in the house. Without a doubt, Leonard is truly in Jesus' house today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain Barbara. I just have a few words I'd like to say this morning. Yesterday, we let our Shreveport community know that one of their Shreveport Fire Department heroes lost his battle with the COVID-19 virus. Firefighter Leonard Coney, badge number 1385, passed away from complications with the virus on January 6, 2021. He served the citizens of Shreveport over 13 years, with his career beginning August 16, 2007, and he held several assignments during that time. Leonard's most recent assignment was Medic Unit Number 5 at Fire Station 5, located at 240 East Owner Avenue. Medic 5 is one of our busiest units in the city, responding to over 3,700 calls in 2020. Many of those calls have been COVID related since the pandemic began in March of 2020. Leonard was exposed to this virus in the line of duty, therefore making this Shreveport Fire Department's 5th line of duty death since 1915. Every member of the Shreveport Fire Department makes a willful and conscious decision to serve. A conscious and willful decision knowing that they will be exposed to many risks and dangers. When they make that decision, it requires several character qualities. It requires sacrifice. Sacrifice to be away from your family for 24-hour shifts and to work on holidays and special days away from your family. It requires commitment. Commitment to learn and perfect the skills of providing pre-hospital care in conditions that are less than favorable. Commitment to get on that apparatus and respond and provide the highest expectation of care, regardless of the time of day or whatever else may be going on in your life. It also requires a servant attitude, realizing and humbling ourselves to understand our mission and duty is to serve, respond, and meet the needs of every person that calls requesting help. Leonard Coney's SFD journey is a reflection of all those character qualities. He displayed them every day. Leonard was the gentle giant who had the kind spirit and was soft-spoken. He displayed a compassion of care for those he served and worked with, and that is a great example for all of us. The Shreveport Fire Department is unlike any other organization. There is a unique and special bond between the men and women who serve together on this department. It is because of this bond that so many firefighters are brokenhearted today, and that is the reason firefighter Leonard Coney will be missed so much. I want to thank Mayor Perkins and all city employees who've reached out in support of the Shreveport Fire Department's loss. I want to thank our city council members who have expressed their condolences and the many across the state of Louisiana who have called and expressed their sympathies. Thank you to Local 514 and the IAF for their support and help during this time. And on behalf of all the men and women of the Shreveport Fire Department, we thank you for the prayers and support from our citizens. Please keep Leonard Coney's family and his department brothers and sisters in your prayers. And I thank you very much. At this time, we'll take any questions that anybody may have.
Chief, can you categorize in a few words how difficult or how big of a load is for the patients? Sometimes you're finding yourself with hospitals that are not taking patients, but you still have to come. Can you comment on that and agree?
Yep. The best way I can comment on that, Mario, is since the pandemic began, the Shreveport Fire Department service has not changed. We've still answered every 911 call. We've still responded to every call for need, and that hasn't changed. And nothing will ever change that. And Leonard's a great example of that. He continued to serve, continued to respond, and that's what we were called to do, and that's what he was called to do. And he did those things, and he did it well. So far, we've had 128 positives, and presently we have 22 off right now with COVID-19. I'm sorry, ma'am, I couldn't understand you. Well, there's no doubt that since the pandemic began and now, not only with the risk and dangers that were there before, the risk and dangers of being exposed to the virus and contracting the virus, and now we have a resulting loss, you know, it's been an extra stress on our members, a time where we're dealing with something that we've never dealt with before. And it's been, there's already stresses that firefighters face just from those things I mentioned earlier, their work schedule and the time away from family and being already exposed to other risks with structure fires and things of that nature. This was just an additional stress factor that's put on our firefighters. But I'll have to say, I have to give them the praise for how they've handled that. They've handled it very well. They really have not missed a beat in serving our citizens in Shreveport. They continue to get on that truck every time that bell rings to make that call and provide that best service to our citizens. And they saved many lives since March, since the pandemic began. Many lives have been saved. We'll probably never know how many lives have been saved by our Shreveport firefighters from those that they ministered to and provided service to with COVID. So I've got to give them praise and honor for all that. They've really stepped up and done a great, outstanding job. Well, so far, we have had our first round of vaccines as EMS responders. We had 132 total take the vaccine. They'll get their second round of vaccinations within the next couple of weeks. The state of Louisiana is providing that to us. We are what we call a self-contained hub. We're providing our own vaccinations. All of our paramedics can give intramuscular injections. So we're able to handle it on our own in-house. We fully expect there'll be more firefighters that will take advantage of this second round and get their first dose, and we're encouraging that because everyone wants to get to the level where we have herd immunity in our country and we can get back to some normalcy and that what we haven't had for a year now. Well, let me say this. Let me answer this way. His close co-workers at Medic 5, it's been really hard on them. And they're all managing it well. We're providing the resources we need to help them get through those times. And so we're taking care of all those, along with trying to meet the needs of the family also. I'm sorry? Well, for me, we've encouraged in that ever since this began. If you recall, we actually had T-shirts made up that had all the message on the back of protecting our citizens. It was a safety message. We've been encouraging wearing masks and social distancing and washing your hands since this pandemic began. We continue to enforce that and emphasize that on our department and away from our department. So again, this just reinforces that, as the mayor said. Hopefully this will be even more motivation for those who aren't doing those things, that they'll do it, because this virus is real and it has a direct impact, and it's impacted a lot of lives and losses. So we hope that those are the good that comes from the bad things that happen, that more good will come out of it, that more people will protect themselves, and we can reduce the spread of this virus. I'm sorry. Say. Well, I can tell you this. The Shreveport Fire Department has a resolve that is above all others. They're strong men and women. We bounce back very quickly because we have a duty to do. Every one of these men and women behind you raised their hand and took an oath to provide a service, to provide that to the best of their ability. And that oath means something to them. It's not just lip service. It's a promise. It's a promise that we made to you, our citizens. It's a promise we made to each other as co-workers. It's a promise we made to our families that we would do what we've been called to do. So for this department is strong. And it's that bond I talked about earlier that will help us navigate through this loss. It's that bond that will help us deal with the grief and the loss, and also make ourselves stronger from it on the other side. Any more questions? Okay, we want to thank you for being here today, and I want to thank everybody that's here today. Thank Mayor Perkins again for him and his staff and our city for being here. Thank you very much.